So in this video we'll be looking at the Hydropod propagator, and I've been sent mine from Greenhouse Sensation to review. So we'll be looking at unboxing, setting up, and then actually using the Hydropod to create cuttings and get rooted plants that we can grow on in the garden or in the house, because you can use so many different types of plants in this type of propagator. It's basically a big tank of warm water with a spraying arm inside, which gives it the perfect environment for rooting to take place for many different types of softwood and hardwood cuttings. So I'll be doing various different cuttings in this video, and on the website it gives you a few examples that you might want to try, like fuchsias, chrysanthemums, geraniums, hydrangeas, begonias, pelargoniums, etc. But you can try lots of different house plants as well. And the great thing about it is it really does allow you to propagate lots of cuttings very quickly and very easily without much sort of maintenance, because you've basically got a big tank of warm water which will be spraying aerated mist water around the stems to promote root growth. So like I said, I've been sent mine from Greenhouse Sensation, and I've got the Hydropod 40 cutting model, but you can get the 20, 80, 120 as well. You can get a heater with this to keep the water nice and warm, or you can just leave it in a warm room to get the nice warm temperatures. And you can have lights as well to help promote growth. So you can get the optional lights which sit on the top, which is quite a neat feature. And you can get also various different little coloured little containers, so you can see which type of cuttings you've got in there, just to keep a track of those that, you know, if they look very similar, so you know which are which. So that is a little bit from the website where I've got my propagator from. Now let's have a look at setting it up. So inside the plain cardboard box we have a black plastic tank, we have a clear lid with adjustable vents, we have a pad of foam pre-cut circles in this which we'll be using to put the cuttings in. We've also got an array of attachments, we've got some instructions, we've got a water pump, we've got a water heater, and we've also got a spraying arm. Okay, so for the next 4 minutes I'm going to go through in real time how long it took me to actually set up the Hydropod propagator. So we're starting with the base and we put in the pump in place, and then we'll be adding the other things we need to add to get this up and running. And whilst I do this, I'll just give you a few facts and bits of information about this system. So it's basically a system where you've got a big tank of water which will be heated, and a pump will spray the water up towards the roots or the stems of the cuttings that you're going to place in here, and that will aerate the atmosphere, give it plenty of water, nice and warm, and it will mean that it will promote the rooting process a lot quicker than just putting the cuttings in a glass of water, for instance. So we'll see this as we go along in the video. So obviously these things come with little plastic ties to keep everything neat in the packaging, so I'm just undoing them now. And we're placing the actual pump in the center here. That has a blue sort of filter on the left hand side, so that it filters the water before it pumps out the spray arms, just in case there's any muck or debris built up in the base of this after some time. Obviously it's completely submerged underwater, this pump, so it's a submersible pump with an electricity supply that you just feed out the side here. And there's little suckers on there to keep that in place. And then we have a H bar that goes on top, and that just sort of presses down. And on this H bar you've got several little sort of spray openings, and this is where the water will spray out. So that's nice and stable in there now. And then we need to add the actual heater. And this is an optional extra. You don't need to have a heater if you're having this in your house or in a warm place. But through the cooler months, if you're having this in a cold room or in a greenhouse where it's a lot cooler, then a heater is great to get it up to about, you can have it between 20 I think and 25 degrees, something like that. I've set it at about 21 degrees, and I've placed this on the side with some suckers, but you can just place it on the base as well. And then we're just going to fill up the base with water. So this is clean water from the tap, and you fill this so it completely submerges the pump but not the spray arms themselves. And there's enough water in this tank to last at least a week, if not more, before you have to top it up, because obviously the plant, the cuttings that we're going to place in here will be using some of the water, and water will be escaping into the atmosphere as well. So it will need topping up eventually. But for the first week or so, it's fine just to run it with this amount of water, which is basically right to the top just before we get to the spray arms. So that's more than a watering can's worth full of water in this case. But these come in several sizes, so you have them from 20 up to about 160 different cut-in segments that will go into here. So this one is a 40 setting, and I've just tested the spray and it does work. And here we can see the plastic grid being placed on top now. And here it's a nice rigid plastic, and we put the lid on there as well, and then we're ready to actually add the cuttings. So here we have a cutting that we're going to put into this unit, and this is a Plectranthus cutting. I've just taken it just now, and I'll prepare it in the usual way, which is basically remove the lower leaves. You can use a knife or scissors, take the little shoots that's starting to appear there, take them off, and then take this large leaf off here, and that is a prepared cutting. And then all we need to do is put it in this unit, and they come with these little foam discs, and obviously I've used a lot of these already in here, but this one is the last one, and it's got a little notch in it so that you can get your cut in and basically place it in like so. And then you've got about 3 or 4 centimeters of stem below the foam pad, and then we're just going to place that in here. So I'll just take that lid off, and then in here we have one hole left, and we'll just place it in like so. Just squeeze it in, and just by the tension of the sides it holds it in place. And then we'll put the lid back on, turn it on, and then we'll wait for the roots to grow. So it's been exactly 2 weeks since all these cuttings, apart from this one, went into the propagator, this Hydropod misting unit. And let's have a look and see if we've got some good roots. So before we do, I'll just quickly say what we've got in here. So we've got Plectranthus, we've got Irricene cuttings, we've also got some Coleus, and we've got some stem cuttings at the back of Begonia luxurians as well, and we've got a nice little house plant here as well. So quite a mixture. So let's reveal what's underneath. And as you can see, we have got absolutely tons and tons of roots. We've got roots developed all the way around the stems, up and down the stem, on every single thing here, apart from this one that I've just put in now for this video. But the rest of it, we've got lots of nice white healthy roots, and even little rootlets off the roots in the case of this one here closest to camera. And let's just take it fully out so you can see all them. The ones that are rooting slower are the Begonia luxurians cuttings, but they will take a bit longer anyway. That's a fantastic result. So this Hydropod has worked really fast and got lots of nice healthy roots, and it's been really easy to do. I've not had to top up the water or anything like that, or give any nutrients to the cuttings. The warm water has been kept warm at about 20 degrees, 21 degrees by the little heater in there, and the ambient temperature in the greenhouse. And this is how loud it is when it's on. So it just sounds like a continuous sort of like trickling sound. So you wouldn't want to keep this like in your bedroom, but you can keep this in a house with some supplementary lighting if you wish. And then you put obviously the top on as well, just to keep the moisture in, like so, and it all fits on very nice and secure. And then you can close these to keep that moisture in to begin with. And now at this stage where it's rooted well, I will keep the top off like this, so acclimatise them. And in a couple of days' time, I'll be taking these out, like this one here. Look at the roots on that. And I'll be potting that up as normal, and these are nice healthy plants, and I can fill this again and again to get absolutely loads of plants. And I'll be trying some more interesting, harder to propagate plants in here as well and see how it fares. But for these, fantastic way to propagate your plants.